Relax, bro.
Go for it.
Relax, dude. This is where you guys start over talking and panicking, bro. Relax. I'm trying to respond to the lie that you just put up. If I show you, well, I'm going to do it anyway, but if I show you that verses were, words were removed from early verses, for example, the lower text of the Quran, meaning the original writing of the manuscript, verses were left out, added, changed to the text. You would agree that means that your guys' claim of preservation isn't what you guys say it is, right?
So which one are you talking about specifically?
Yeah, so there's a manuscript by the name of DAM 0127, and it shows that the earlier reading had things. It was a more shorter reading, and the next what they wrote over it was they actually added to the actual words. So this isn't comparing a manuscript to a manuscript. We're using the same manuscript to show that they have actually changed the verse on the same manuscript.
So are you saying the verse that you're talking about, so you're saying it was changed over time? Or it was only changed?
Somebody wrote somebody
so on the
manuscript. Yeah, so on the manuscript, this is what it originally said. And then when someone, before the Uthmanic Codex or pre-Uthmanic
Codex. Hear.
Can you hear me? What the heck? Can you hear me? Yo, Ibrahim. Yo, Ibrahim, can you hear? Yo, hello? Yo. Can you hear? Yo, hello? Yo. I can hear myself through your... Can you hear? Yo, hello? Bro, I can hear myself through it playing in his house.
Hello?
Abdullah, how's it going?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Oh, that's weird.
What?
Hello? Life, can you hear me all right, man? No? Can you shake your head, yes or no? You can hear me? Okay, I can't hear you for some reason. I'm going to head out, and then I'll come back in.
Okay. What is happening? Is it me? I mean, I don't know how that works. I mean, if I can hear them, and it must be them. They need to just go out and come back in. Hey, Ibrahim, you do the same thing, bro. You go out and come back in. You guys probably need to refresh your devices. Kasai.
Hey, man, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Are you the same guy?
No, my mic wasn't working before, but now it is. You can hear me just fine, right?
No, I'm saying, are you the same guy that Logic just kicked?
No. Okay.
Man, you guys sound, identical. That's crazy, but okay.
How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, what's up, bro? So are you under the impression the Quran is preserved?
Yes, Allah Azza wa Jal says, "Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun." We have sent down the scripture, the remembrance, and surely we will preserve it. So
now, were there?
Sorry.
So okay, so were there any alterations to the manuscripts?
So here's a blunder you and Avery are making, respectfully. The Quran was preserved through memorization and oral recitation. It was not preserved through manuscripts. We do have manuscripts going all the way back to the time of the companions. Having said that, like you can look at the Birmingham Quran, the what's it called? Sana'a Quran, but that's not how the Quran was preserved. It was preserved through oral recitation, preserved through mass transmission.
No, it wasn't. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Life. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not that one. That's not true because the way that you preserve the text that you have is by documentation, not by he say, she say, or else your entire religion would just collapse into whatever you guys wanted to say.
No. Hold
How
on.
it was preserved. No, because this is why I don't like the dishonesty. You guys can't run around boasting that your Quran, the things that people heard from Muhammad all the way back in the 7th century, all of a sudden just gets to remain preserved based off words. We need these things to be documented, like it even says in your Quran that it was being written down. So if you're going to make a claim of perfect preservation or your Quran was preserved because God said so, well, then we would need to actually see that via text instead of or like because you're just saying anything.
Okay, hold on. So, do you know what tawatur is? Mass transmission. Let me give you an example. The first chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Fatiha, around 6 verses. Every Muslim on the planet, I would argue, like 6-year-old Muslims have it memorized. That's like almost
that doesn't help.
Just let me finish.
That doesn't help when the Lord. Hold on, my brother, because I don't want to have a conversation with you about what someone said. I want to have a conversation about what was documented, because you can't say that these people had good memory and they memorized the Quran and passed it down when we have errors in what they wrote down. So if you're saying that these people had good memory, then they should have that good memory when it comes to writing the Quran down too, right? Or does it just disappear when they start writing it down?
No. Hold on. Just because was not the text of the Quran was not preserved through manuscript evidences, that does not mean it was not preserved. We have an oral recitation. That's the whole point.
Who was writing the Quran down? Were the same people who memorized the Quran writing the Quran down?
There were what's it called, scribes during the Prophet's time.
And did they memorize the Quran?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so they shouldn't have made mistakes, right?
There are no mistakes, no.
Okay, so we're gonna show you one. Okay, so we have the Sanaa manuscript, DAM 0127. I mean, excuse me, not 127, DAM 0271. And what we have here in the lower text, do you know what lower text is?
I don't, sorry.
Okay, so the lower text is the original writing of like what was originally written on the paper. So if I write something right now on this paper and then someone erases it and then writes over it, what would be under that new writing would be considered the lower text. So what we have is the lower text of this manuscript that has been processed, and what they found is this. So in your Quran today, it says this.
يتولوا يعذبهم الله عذابا أليما في الدنيا والآخرة وما لهم في الأرض. Okay.
Yeah, if they turn away, Allah will punish them with a painful punishment in this world and the hereafter, and there will not be for them on earth any protector or helper. What they found in the lower text of this manuscript is that it actually didn't read the way that it was rewritten. It says, if they turn away, Allah will punish them in this world, and there will not be for them on earth any protector or helper. So what the writers did, if you can see it, they took the punishment from this world and moved it all the way to the hereafter as well. So they added a second, they attached something else to what the words of Allah was supposed to be within the manuscript. So if you're saying these people have miraculous memory, let me ask you, which one did Muhammad say?
Okay, so are you aware of the qira'at, and the ahraf, so the different dialectical differences in the Quran?
Yeah, this isn't a second reading because it's on the same manuscript. It was erased. This isn't two different even if it was on two different manuscripts, you would still have a problem because the context changes. The punishment now follows you to the hereafter. So this isn't two different ways of reading. This is literally adding to what the verse is saying.
So part of the qira'at is that it adds oftentimes alternate meanings to the text. So for example,
my brother, did you not hear what I was saying? It was erased.
Hold on. Let me just.
My brother, I don't need you to explain to me what that is. I know what it is. Listen to what I'm saying closely.
Yeah.
The original writing that was on this manuscript was erased. You cannot make an argument that it is another style of reading, therefore making it not problematic because they erased it and they wrote the Uthmanic standard reading over it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the qira'at come with different sometimes spellings. Like that first word, I'm looking
It's
at
not
the
a
text right
different
here.
spelling. It's a missing, dude. It has missing words. The original text does not say the punishment is going to follow you to the hereafter.
Sometimes the words will have like a missing accent, a missing letter, or like a missing word, depending on the qira'ah. Let me just
my brother, my brother.
Let me speak.
Okay, hold on. I want you to make sense of this before you, because you're giving us the standard response, and that's irrelevant.
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point.
No, I don't need you to teach me the script. I need you to understand what I'm showing you here, and I want you to make. I want you to make based on what you're saying. Hold on one second, brother. Hold on one second, brother. I want you to make sense. I need you to follow along with me. I'm not following you in the conversation. Respectfully, I need you to follow along with me.
I can't give you an example to explain. Let me give you an example.
Okay, give me an example, and then I want you to make it make sense based on what I'm showing you at the end of the verse. Okay?
Okay, no problem. So
Gotcha.
one of the verses in Surah Al-Fatiha, it says, Maliki Yawmiddin, owner of the day of judgment. In another
this is why I stopped you.
Wait.
This is why I stopped you. I am not asking you about tomato and tomato. I'm not asking you
That's
about.
That's not tomato and tomato. There, in another reading, it says Malik Yawmiddin, king of the day of judgment.
I understand that. I understand that. When you guys reference that, you try to collapse it in. Pay attention, my brother.
I'm paying attention.
I understand what you're doing, and I'm saying when you guys refute that, you try to collapse it into that. I'm not even arguing that. Listen, pay attention to what I said here. Allah will punish them with a painful punishment in this world. Period. That's what the original text used to say. Okay? Do you follow that? Okay, keep that in your mind. Original text used to say Allah will punish them with a painful punishment. Period. In this world.
Hold on. Let me, because I can read Arabic. Let me just directly translate, because the translation can sometimes be incorrect. Let me just read to the Arabic. So
go to chapter 9, verse 74. Yeah, go to chapter 9, verse 74 in your Quran right now. You'll see what I'm saying.
Just give me 1 second, brother. Let me put it up. 974.
Yeah, chapter 9, verse 74.
74. I just want to appreciate you, by the way, for keeping it respectful and not using insults, by the way.
Sure, man, no problem.
It
doesn't even cross my mind to do that.
So the above test is saying God will punish them a painful punishment in this life and the next life. And then this last part, وَمَا لَهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ
We're not dealing with the last part. Yeah. Just leave that. We're not dealing with the last part. We're dealing with.
And the under one says,
it will punish him in this world.
God will punish them.
In this world.
Have عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. So this part is not, a painful punishment is not mentioned in the bottom. فِي الدُّنْيَا, in this life, is mentioned in the bottom. وَالْآخِرَةِ, in the next life, is not mentioned in the bottom. وَمَا لَهُمْ فِي this part is the same. So it's missing, what's it called? وَالْآخِرَةِ, this word is missing. And it's missing عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. So it doesn't say
exactly. Thank you. So that's not a different way of. Thank you. So that's not a different way of reciting. That's literally a word added. So which one did he? So which one is true? Did Muhammad say the punishment will be in this world on earth, or it will be in this world and in the hereafter? Which one did he say? Because it was erased and changed.
Both are correct. Both are correct. Because they're not contradicting. They turn away, God will punish them in this world, but they're alternate meanings. He will also punish them in the next world. There's no contradicting meaning, and there will not.
Okay, so Allah gave the verse twice and changed it.
Yeah, in alternate meanings, correct. Just like that example I gave you earlier.
This is so it's like a movie. There's an alternative. So it's like a movie. There's an alternative. Hold on 1 second. So it's like a movie. There's an alternative ending. That's what it is. Both of them can be correct. Is that how you guys have to clear up the clear?
No, it's not something we clear.
Is that how you got? Wait, 1 second, man. Stop.
Okay, go on.
Relax, bro, because you're panicking right now.
I'm not
just
panicking.
made up something. You have no evidence. Relax, bro. Relax, dude. This is where you guys start over talking and panicking, bro. Relax. I'm trying to respond to the lie that you just put on stage. Both are not true, because Uthman literally is the reason for why they erased this stuff and changed it to mean what he wanted it to mean in his standardized codex. This is the reason why you have scholarly research that state that your text was altered and edited. This is the reason why we have evidence that it was altered and edited. You can't say both are true when they erased it. If both were true, then they should have never erased it. It's on the same manuscript.
Can I respond?
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, this is a misunderstanding of what Uthman radiallahu anhu did. He did not alter the text. That's not what happened, right? He basically compiled, because there are 7 different ahraf basically that the people were reciting. He compiled it on one harf, one dialect, which is the dialect of Quraysh. Do you understand? Having said that, the other 6 didn't fade out of existence. They continue to persist in people's recitations. So some people would recite it like the bottom. This is mutawatir, a massively transmitted recitation, and some people will recite it at the top. Just like how some people would recite it, Maliki Yawmiddin, King of the Day of Judgment, and others would recite it, Maliki Yawmiddin, Owner of the Day of Judgment. They're both valid, and we have a hadith to corroborate this. The Prophet
what is your evidence that both? What is your evidence that both are valid?
The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, نزل القرآن على 7 أحرف. The Quran was revealed upon 7 dialects. Do you understand?
Didn't we already address that? That's not what it is. When you add something to a verse, and it never said that.
No, it's not.
Hold on. When you add something to a verse and change the context of what the verse means, that is not a different dialect, dude. When you add something to the text and it changes the context, would you agree that we're not talking about dialect issues here now, right?
Dialect is, let's just say, a mistranslation. Think of it as a mode of recitation.
Please be honest when we're on stage. If something is added to something that I say that changes the context of what I am saying, we are not dealing with a dialect issue, right?
Yeah, it's a mode of recitation.
Oh gosh, bro. Okay. So if I show you, wait. So do scholars agree that your Quran has been altered?
Muslim scholars, no, of course not.
What do you mean? That's called being biased. Scholars, non-biased scholars that have conducted research on your Quran, that have uploaded information and scans like this to provide evidence that the lower text and upper text do not match, it's been altered and changed. Do they agree that your Quran has had a high form of editing?
Are you talking about like non-Muslim scholars?
Non-biased scholars that study manuscripts.
I have no problem conceding that non-Muslim scholars believe that the Quran is not preserved. I have no problem conceding that. Muslim scholars, though, they have a consensus that it's not. It's preserved, right? And I'm
brother. Editing. Pay attention. Edited. Yes. Edit. Do you know what it means to edit something?
I know what it means to edit.
Okay, thank you. So even if you did have a Muslim scholar, they would have to concede that manuscripts were edited because the evidence is there.
Okay, but these manuscripts that they have this, for example, I just told you, the Adab and Arim, it's not in the bottom, it's in the top. In a recitation, it exists. That's why it was put there.
I'm not asking you that. I just want you to agree that scholars understand your early manuscripts were edited.
Yeah, sure. That's not a problem. That doesn't mean the Quran is
it is a problem. I'll show you why. Watch this.
Hold on. Let me just ask you a question. You've been asking me a lot of questions. Let me just ask you a question.
Watch this.
In the first chapter of the Quran.
Hold on. Watch this. Hold on. Let me show you something.
Let me ask you a question. When God says Malik Yawmiddin, owner of the day of judgment, and Malik Yawmiddin, king of the day of judgment, we believe both are Quran. Is that distortion or is it?
Why do you keep bringing that up, dude?
Because it's refuting everything you're saying right now.
No, it's not. It's not refuting. It's not refuting.
Question. Is it owner of the day of judgment or king of the day of judgment? Is it a mistake?
What be wrong with y'all? You just sat up here and told me that your Quran is preserved. I showed you a manuscript where the lower text literally had a different reading from the upper text, where someone came and erased it and changed it, and then you told me both are right, bro. Please, please just stop. Please just stop.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's pretty crazy.
Please just stop. Please just stop.
Okay,
Let me read.
Question?
Please just stop. Let me read a scholar because you're making stuff up. I don't really want to hear you make stuff up. And you keep going to something that you thought someone was going to present to you on this stage, and so you keep trying to run to that. I'm not going back and forth with you about that, dude. Listen,
present your scholar.
All right, so Keith E. Small says this in his book, okay? And this is from the section Physical Corrections to the Manuscripts. This is what he says. The variants described above are all examples of variants made deliberately to conform to the text to a form the scribe considered to be correct and which matches the form of text which by the 4th Islamic century was considered to be standard or canonical. For these variants, elements of religious dogma and political concern were very possibly involved in that by the 3rd Islamic century, the Uthmanic Rasm was considered by most to be the Quran text for liturgical use, theological belief, and legal reasoning. Modifying existing text to read according to its standard form was thus an act to bring a greater degree of unity and conformity to the manuscripts surviving from an early era of manuscript tradition. That's just one point we're going to read so far. Do you agree with what he's saying here?
For the most part, yes. Now, let me explain.
What do you agree with?
Yeah, let me explain. So the first part you have highlighted, deliberately to conform the text to a form the scribe considered to be correct. This part right here confirms everything I've been telling you, because the Quran was preserved through recitation. So the text was written in a way to conform to the recitation, the oral recitation.
Deliberately?
Yes.
Well, then you just cooked you just cooked yourself, dude.
And which matches the form of text, which
brother, you just cooked. Hold on, listen. If you read from the beginning, you cooked yourself. If you agree with that, the variants described above are all examples of variants made deliberately to conform to the text form of the scribe. Look, considered to be correct. That means that he believes what it was before is not correct, right?
No, that's wrong. That inference you made is just wrong. That inference you made is wrong. Hold on. Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. Stop freaking out. Calm down. So
calm down, life.
It says conform the text to the form the scribe considered to be correct. Correct is like, this is actually like incorrect to say that he believed it's a variant recitation. There are variants in the different recitations, like
not a recitation. There are reading.
Say again, Avery?
It's not a recitation. It's the text that they're editing, not the recitation.
Yeah. The text must conform to the recitation. What are you talking about? Because the Quran was preserved through oral recitation. Incorrect,
right?
Say again?
Because they assume it's incorrect.
Not because they assume it's incorrect, but because it's not the variant that they're used to reading. For example, I read Hafs an Asim, I say Malik Yawmuddin, owner of the day of judgment. That does not mean Malik Yawmuddin, king of the day of judgment, is incorrect.
So why are they editing it as both are correct? Why are they editing it?
Why are they editing it? To conform to the recitation that they were reading. For example, if you go to Morocco,
why? What's the point if it doesn't matter? Both are correct.
Yeah, but that's not how they recite it. They're both correct, but that's not how they recite it. In Morocco, for example, Avery,
the answer is highlighted. He's taking it in part. The answer to Logic's question is highlighted.
No. If Avery, let me tell you something. If you were to go to Morocco, they will be reciting Warsh an Nafi', right? Which is Malik Yawmuddin, king of the day of judgment. If you go to Saudi Arabia, they're reciting Hafs an Asim, owner of the day of judgment. Both are correct. And they're not contradictory, they're alternate meanings. So if you read a Quran in Saudi Arabia, it's gonna have like an accentation on the word Malik. It's gonna say Malik. That's also the way it's started. It's gonna be different than the Quran found in Morocco. There's gonna be that minute difference, but it's fine because it suits the recitation. And these recitations are massively transmitted and they go back to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? Yes, there's gonna be variants, and the Prophet explained them.
No, one that's not true. So one that's not true. Second of all, you just hold on. Hold on, Kasai.
Yes,
dude, we're dealing with manuscripts, not what your Muslims say. You can't come to the stage and just say the Muslim said this. I'm presenting people who studied the actual manuscripts and had them in their hands. I have a book in my hand. This guy has all the scans of the Quranic manuscripts that he studied, and he's just being honest with the text. You are just coming here with what someone told you. And the reason why, and the reason why you're saying this is because this is what you're taught. Let's finish what it actually says here. For these variants, elements of religious dogma. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. Therefore, this cooks you if you say that you agree with what I have highlighted first. That means that they deliberately edited the text for dogmatic reasons. This is the reason why your Uthmanic codex is the one that reigns supreme and all of the others were burnt.
Okay, I think I see the problem. You're approaching the Quran's preservation the same way you would approach the Bible's preservation. You're relying solely on manuscript evidences. That's a problem for a multitude of reasons. Number one, the Quran was preserved in Arabic. It must be recited in Arabic, right?
Brother, we're dealing with the preservation of the We're dealing with the preservation of the Quran via the Arabic. Would you like me to show you scans of the manuscript?
Hold on. Let me just finish my point. Let me just finish my point. Right? The Bible, you're forced to rely on the early manuscripts and translate different manuscripts to English. That's why you have a bunch of different versions of the Bible, the New International Version, the New Catholic Bible, whatever, and they use different manuscripts. Do you understand?
So your Quran is only so what I hear you saying is your Quran isn't preserved physically.
It's preserved through oral recitation. That's correct. So
answer. So the Quran isn't preserved physically.
Like in a manuscript book? No. It's preserved through oral recitation.
Oh, so what does it mean for your Quran not to be preserved physically? What does that mean?
Not be like it's not preserved physically. It's not preserved.
It's not preserved physically means it's not. No, detail it.
Beautiful admission.
Why is your Quran not preserved physically?
It's preserved through oral recitation.
Wait, why is it not preserved physically? They tried to do it. Did they fail?
No, it's not that they failed. It's that it's not meant to be preserved physically. It's written. It's not, no.
Wait.
Let me finish my point. You keep interrupting. Let me finish my point.
Was it preserved? No.
Stop interrupting him when he's giving us all this gold, man.
I know. I'm about to let go.
Avery, get the book. I'm writing this down. Give me a page.
No, I'm about to give him.
You getting in this book? Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're getting there.
I got you. Because I got you. I'm about to give him the floor. I was just about to do that. Uninterrupted. I just need this answer too, though, brother.
I will answer.
Why did your Quran in Islam fail to be physically preserved? You got the floor. I'm listening.
Why did it fail to be preserved? So like I said, it's preserved through oral recitation. It's preserved perfectly. I'll answer the second part, but let me just listen to this point. It's preserved through oral recitation. My proof for that is like right now, I'm in Canada, for example. I recite Surah Al-Fatiha. If you were to go to Indonesia, other side of the planet, people whom I've never met before, people who don't even speak the same language as me, are reciting the Quran in Arabic the exact same way I recite it. Hafs and Asim, or there's Warsh Hanafi, people in Indonesia are reciting it as the same way people in Morocco are reciting it. That is miraculous preservation, right? Denying the Quran is like denying World War II happened.
Okay, now why wasn't it preserved?
The physical part. Now let's get to let me address the physical part.
Thank you.
So can I give you the history of like the Uthmanic Rasm, the Uthmanic Codex, or how much time do we have? I'll cut it short. So Uthman had his manuscript, right? That is the standard. Uthman's manuscript. There's three criteria a recitation must meet in order for it to be considered the Quran. One of them is that it must conform to the Uthmanic Codex, right?
What?
So
that's not true.
It conforms to Uthman's codex. Now there's difference in recitations because remember the 7 ahruf that I told you about before, they still exist. They didn't fade out of existence. Uthman united everyone upon one harf, but the other huruf, the other like we'll call it more like a recitation.
Bro, I'm sorry, I can't take this anymore. Where are you getting? Why was it not meant for the Quran to be preserved physically, dude? Did Uthman try to preserve the Quran physically?
How do I answer this?
The answer with a yes, because that's correct.
No. Yes and no. Yes and no.
No, it's not a yes and okay. What's the reason that that Uthman began to compile his Quran in the first place?
Because people were reciting the Quran incorrectly.
Very good. And so therefore, because of their incorrect recitations, Uthman then tried to preserve the Quran in a physical codex, correct?
Yes, but let me explain to you. Yes.
So it was meant to be preserved physically.
No.
But they failed.
That's an inference you're making. That's false.
You said it.
Let me explain.
You said that they did not preserve it physically, bro. You said the Quran is not preserved physically. We're asking you why.
Let me explain. So the Quran is preserved through oral recitation for the 10th millionth time. But people started making it because as the Muslim conquest spread in Azerbaijan and like different places, people began who don't speak Arabic as their first language began making mistakes, grammatical mistakes that do not go back to the Prophet Muhammad.
Were they making oral mistakes? Were they making oral mistakes or physical mistakes, Kasai?
Oral mistakes. The reason this happened was because of the seven ahruf. So Uthman united everyone upon one harf, but some like remnants of the other 6 ahruf.
Bro, you're not real.
People would recite them reading Uthman's codex. So Uthman's codex is like the skeleton.
Pause there. Why did Uthman order that other manuscripts and whole copies of the Quran be burnt?
Because they don't conform to his.
So therefore, these other Qurans don't conform to his codex, so they were incorrect, right?
Yes. Sorry. Let me tell you about. Not incorrect.
No.
Hold on. Not incorrect.
No.
Not incorrect.
Uthman just didn't like him. It was all right. Uthman didn't just like him.
It's not that they're incorrect. It's that they don't conform to his codex. This was called a maslaha in Arabic.
If they didn't conform to Uthman's codex, were they correct? Were they correct manuscripts or incorrect manuscripts?
But he had them burnt due to
brother, please.
His time.
If they did not conform to Uthman's codex, were those manuscripts and whole copies of Qurans correct or incorrect?
No, they were correct.
So they were still correct, even though they did not, line up with Uthman's codex.
Yes, because that was before Uthman's codex.
Religion, yes, no. Yes, no.
If he thinks the others burnt out of benefit for the ummah, it was within our best interests.
How? Okay. Wait. How?
How is it a benefit? Because
how is it benefit if they all have correct Qurans? How is it beneficial to lose them?
Can we pull up the hadith actually? I can pull up the hadith for you. Like, can we do that? I'm more than happy to pull it up.
Sahih Bukhari 4987, bro.
Excellent. Give me 1 second, brother.
I want to know, how is it beneficial to burn and destroy and get rid of all other Quranic physical manuscripts other than Uthman's manuscript, if all of them were already correct, if there was nothing wrong with them, they were perfectly fine. What benefit does it have to get rid of all this Quranic evidence, physical evidence, and just rely on Uthman's?
Yeah,
what benefit?
I'll answer your question. Can you just give me the citation one more time, sorry?
MashaAllah, yes.
One more time, maybe. What was it?
What was my question?
No. I got your question.
The hadith?
The citation, please.
Yeah, it's Sahih Bukhari.
Yes.
4987 in Sunnah.com.
87, excellent. Where's the Quran? 1 second. Iman came to Uthman at the time when people of Sham and people of Iraq were waging war to conquer Armenia and Azerbaijan. He was afraid. Differences in the recitation of the Quran, the reason being because of the 7 ahruf. So he
doesn't say that. Please stick to the text. It doesn't say that.
Yeah, but the reason why is because of the 7, and it's corroborated.
No, it's not.
The Prophet didn't say the Quran was revealed in 7 ahruf. The Prophet didn't say that.
Oh, he says that, but it doesn't translate that the 7 ahruf are the reason why there's problems within the ummah regarding the recitation of the Quran. Okay.
Do you want me to get Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani's review of this?
In a bit. Okay, let's keep reading. Let's stick with the hadith.
One at a time. O chief of the believers, he said to Uthman, O chief of the believers, save this nation before they differ about the book, as Jews and the Christians did before. So Uthman sent a message to Hafsa saying,
Pause there.
Yes.
So these issues were so bad These differences were so bad. Not that everybody's reciting it the same or everyone just, it's a different mode, but it's all correct. These differences were so bad that it can split the religion like it did the Jews and Christians about the Bible, right?
Wow. That is correct. That's what Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman said. Do you want me to keep reading?
Please keep reading.
Send a message to Hafsa. So the Hafsa here, let me just give a bit of context.
You don't need to. We know Hafsa's manuscript came from Abu Bakr's first compilation.
Yeah, yes. You know that?
Her. We know.
You're very well educated on this. I'm actually surprised. So this is like good on you.
You surprised that I'm this? Brother, I'm the unlettered Christian. You know me, man.
No degree, no diploma.
Yeah, funny guy. All right, let's continue. So send us the manuscripts of the Quran so that we may compile the Quranic materials in perfect copy, and return the manuscripts to you. Hafsa sent it to Uthman. Uthman then ordered Zayd ibn Thabit, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, Sa'id ibn al-As, and Abdurrahman ibn al-Harith ibn Hisham to rewrite the manuscripts in perfect copies. Uthman said to the three Qurayshi men, in case you disagree with Zayd ibn Thabit on any point in the Quran, then write it in the dialect of Quraysh. This was the first ahruf that was revealed. The Quran was revealed in their tongue. They did so.
I thought it was revealed in 7.
It was revealed in 7, but this is the original.
But he doesn't say it's the original. He says, write it, if you guys disagree, write it in the dialect of the Quraysh, because it was revealed in their dialect.
Yeah, because in another hadith, the Prophet Muhammad said, when Gabriel came to him and revealed him the Quran, he kept on asking for more.
Yeah, he kept on asking for different modes of recitation. Right?
And then until they reached at 7.
So then is Uthman making a mistake here? Because the Quran wasn't just revealed in Quraysh.
He said, in case you disagree with Zayd ibn Thabit on any point in the Quran, then write it in the dialect of Quraysh. The Quran was revealed in their dialect.
Boom. But it wasn't, but according to, notice the difference, Qusay.
Yes.
The difference is that, was the Quran just revealed in the dialect of Quraysh?
It wasn't just revealed in it. It was revealed in
right. So Uthman says, if you disagree with Zayd bin Thabit on any portion of the Quran, just write it in the dialect of Quraysh because it was revealed in their dialect. However, it wasn't just revealed in their dialect, it was revealed in other dialects. So why rely on just the Qurayshi dialect and not in others if you disagree?
Because the whole purpose of Uthman's Mus'haf, of his codex, is to unite the Muslims on one harf.
They should be united because they're all just different modes of the same Quran, right?
No.
Just different dialects, right?
No, hold on. So the 7 ahruf are different than the riwayat, the recitations. The ahruf are different than the recitations.
What are they? You know what? That's going somewhere else.
Ask him this. If they were all correct, you probably asked this already, but if they were all correct, why wouldn't they be united?
Okay, can you repeat that one more time?
If they were all correct, why wouldn't they be united already just by default? Because they're all correct.
Yeah, so the ahruf, the people were reciting, as they spread to Iraq, Azerbaijan, wherever, people began making mistakes in recitation that are not part of the Quran. The Quran started getting corrupted, in other words.
We're not talking about recitation. We're not talking about just oral.
Yes.
We're talking about the text, because he says he's write it in the dialect of Quraysh because it was revealed in their tongue, and you said the purpose of this is to unify it. Wouldn't it be already automatically unified if they're all correct? So it doesn't matter what dialect you write it.
So Abu Bakr's Mus'haf was not unified on one harf. It included all 7. It was not unified on one.
What?
Oh, so wait a minute. So Uthman's harf had all 7 dialects in it?
Uthman, no, his had 1. Abu Bakr's had 7. Abu Bakr's accommodated all of them. Yeah.
All right. Go to read the next portion.
Okay, hold on. Before I do, can I just ask you a question? I haven't gone a single question across. You guys have been asking all the questions.
Wait, we got to finish this thought, bro. Because we came here for a reason.
Excellent. Avery, let me ask you, after I finish this, let me ask you a question.
As long as it's on subject.
As long as it's very much on subject. Yes.
All right.
Where did I leave off?
Write it in the dialect of Quraysh because it was revealed in their tongue.
Yes. They did so. And when they had written many copies, Uthman returned the original manuscripts to Hafsa. Uthman sent every Muslim province 1 copy of what they had copied and ordered that all the other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, be burnt.
Why?
Be burnt? Because it didn't conform to his. This was it was for the best interests of the Ummah.
Well, here's my question.
Yeah.
Were those manuscripts, those whole copies of Qurans and manuscripts of those Qurans, were they correct?
I'm going to answer, but just let me elaborate. Yes, they were correct, but just because Uthman had them burned, that does not imply that they were incorrect, right?
Sure.
He did that to unite. Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
He did that to unite the Muslims on one harf out of benefit for the ummah.
Okay.
And the companions at the time unanimously agreed upon this.
I got
right?
you.
Now,
if that's not true at all. Number one, Ibn Mas'ud, one of the companions, did not agree with Uthman's.
They did. Ali ibn Abi Talib, Uthman's successor, has a hadith where he said all the companions agreed to it. He consulted us before he did.
Well, no, Ibn Mas'ud said, hide your Qurans. Don't burn them and turn them in. Keep them with you until you return with Allah.
We can address that. But first, answer my question.
Well, hold on. We're on this part. The part that we came to the hadith for. You said that these Qurans, at first you said, no, they're not correct because they didn't conform. Then you switched and said, yeah, they are correct, even though they don't conform.
The way they were reciting was incorrect. I didn't say the fragments.
No, we were talking about the manuscripts, and you said they were not correct, bro.
No, I said very clearly the way they were reciting it. The way they were reciting
it. Brother, look, I'm going to tell you to watch your clip back. I don't feel like going all the way back right now to show it because I usually do. But I'm telling you right now, my editors are going to rewind this. And they're going to show you when I asked you, were the manuscripts and whole copies of these Qurans, were they correct? You said no. That's where we were like, that's where life leaned back, like, and then you said, and you're like, whoa, and that's when I started saying,
if that's the case, I retract that. Never mind. I forgot you were talking about that. In that case, I retract that. I retracted that right away because the question didn't clock in my brain. I said the answer. I think it clocked. May God forgive me.
No, you know what's going on. You're trying to, what's going on. You're trying to give an answer that just doesn't exist.
I'm trying to answer all your questions. And so far, you haven't answered any one of mine. I would like to ask you a question. Like that's
all right. So you have these manuscripts of the Quran and whole copies of Qurans that do not conform to Uthman's manuscript.
Correct.
So therefore, he has them burned. Correct. But these Qurans are correct. They are all true. They are all correct.
Yeah.
There's no mistake in them, right?
That doesn't mean they're incorrect.
I got you. So they're all correct. No mistakes in these Qurans. He had them burned, right?
Mistakes. It's not that they had. You know what? I'm gonna say I don't know. Like, please respect my ignorance. I don't know if there was no, because human beings are. I don't know if there's like one mistake on that. I know Uthman's codex is perfect. I don't know about the other ones. Let's just say general terms it's correct.
Can I show you that? Can I? Let me just show him a mistake.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Avery, you promised me a question. Let me ask you.
Wait. As long as we finish our thought here, you can ask something.
Okay, what's the thought?
So we're talking about you're talking about manuscripts, the writing, the reading of the text, right?
Let me just give you a summary.
No, I don't need a summary. What I need is something direct. I need is I need you to explain to me, because now we're at an I don't know now. At first, the physical manuscripts that were burned were incorrect because they didn't conform to Uthman. Then you said they were correct, even though they don't conform to Uthman. Now you're saying you don't know. Okay, so now we don't know if they were correct or not. Here's my question.
Okay,
if they're correct, like what you're saying, if they're correct, what is the point of burning correct Qurans, true Qurans?
Excellent.
Getting rid of all these true Qurans. How does that benefit?
Excellent question.
The Ummah.
Excellent question. So when I said the other manuscripts were correct, I meant correct as in the sense that they are like Quran. I'm not saying what let's just say the other manuscripts that people had in the Muslim provinces before Uthman's codex was written, that it was not Quran. Yes, it was Quran. Were there mistake? Maybe one individual in Basra and Iraq, whatever, had some mistake in it. Maybe, I don't know. That's the part I said I don't know about. I don't know if every single manuscript in the Muslim provinces didn't have one puny mistake in it. That's besides the point. Was it Quran? Yes. In that sense, it was correct, as in it was Quran. Now, Uthman's burning of them does not mean that they were incorrect. That's not what it means.
So why burn them?
We did that because it was in the best interest of the Muslims.
How?
Now, yes, and why was it? Why was it in the best interest of the Muslims?
Yeah, how is it in the best interest of the Ummah, of the Muslim people, to burn true copies of the Quran?
Because Uthman's codex united the Muslims. The Muslims were differing, as Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman said. People were different like the Jews and the Christians did before.
How does a true Quran...
Let me finish.
You keep going back to recitation. I'm talking about the books themselves, bro.
Yes.
The copies.
Yes.
How does a true Quran cause division?
Oh, so you're saying like they had like a correct manuscript?
That's what you're saying. You said that. You said that their manuscripts. Yeah, you said their manuscripts were correct. These whole copies that Uthman had burned were correct. They were true.
Yeah.
So how is burning true Qurans beneficial to the Ummah if they're true?
Two different questions. Those are two different questions.
No, it's the same question I've been asking.
No. One question you said, why were people differing if their manuscripts were correct? Is that
that's not what I asked.
That's not what you, okay, great. So the question you asked was, what is that? Why was it in the best interest of the Muslims for Uthman to burn the other Qurans? That was your question.
Let me rephrase it again. What is the benefit of the Ummah to burn and get rid of true manuscript copies of the Quran? True Qurans, whole Qurans that are true, that are correct. How does it benefit the Ummah to get rid of them?
Many reasons. Number one, these other manuscripts that people had, for example, tafsir written on them. Like, for example, حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى, preserve the prayers in the middle prayer. Some people, the middle prayer is Salatul Asr. Some people literally wrote in their manuscripts Salatul Asr. And الفاتحة غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين, like other than the ones.
So then these manuscripts were not true copies, then, correct?
Say again.
So then they were not true copies because they had additions and other people's notes written in them.
That's tafsir, but that doesn't invalidate it.
So I'm confused.
Let me answer your question. Let me answer. You made your
brother. You're mixing up your answer right now.
No.
First you're saying their manuscripts are all good to go. Now you're saying they had additions in them of people's personal notes.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it invalid. That doesn't make the Quran text in it.
I got you. So if I add my own personal notes in the Quran, does that mean that this is a distorted copy of the Quran now?
So if you had like a verse of the Quran and then right next to it, the tafsir right next to it, like that's not that's not distorting the Quran.
So you can have a Quran. I got you. So you can have a manuscript of the Quran with people's notes in it, and it's still an authentic version of the Quran.
Let me answer your question because you keep adding questions in between.
Brother, you keep adding problems.
Let me explain to you the benefit of it. That's one
Just
reason.
be clear, bro.
That's one reason people having tafsir in the Quran. That's why we have books of tafsir separate from the actual mushaf. We do not write tafsir on the Quran. Like that was something.
What's the problem with people brother? You're not dealing with what I'm asking you.
Because people would.
What is Kusai? What is the problem with people having what you say are notes? Personal notes or whatever, in their Quranic manuscripts? What's the problem with that if that doesn't invalidate the manuscript?
Because people will interpret it to be from the people. People are fallible. They will interpret it as from the Quran, or they will misunderstand.
So then it will be a distortion of the Quran, then, correct?
No,
it'll be a messed up manuscript because it's not a pure manuscript of the Quran because it has additions to it, right?
No. People will interpret it differently, but that doesn't mean it's
what? This is where I ask him this. This is perfect. This is where we see where his brain is at. This is where we see where his brain is at. And if he answered this, I already know what you're gonna do.
We done, bro.
Look, Kasai.
Yes.
You're saying that it's everything's correct, everything's all right, even though that these guys are correcting people. Look at this manuscript right here. These are two different writing styles. Someone else came in and corrected it. Do you know what is being corrected in this manuscript?
I can't exactly read that. Like it's not the Arabic I'm used to reading.
Okay, so all right, so this is a scan. He was given to us by Dan Brubaker. He's a Quranic manuscript studies scholar. He found in this manuscript that it was corrected where they had to insert the word the seven. So it didn't have So this is what it said here. The two different corrections can be seen in figure 21. The first is above in the upper line shown, where the word al-sabai, the 7, have been added by a later scribe and in a very different script style from what the original scribe as written. The portion read, say, who is the Lord of the heavens and the Lord of the great throne, as corrected. And it stands in the 1924 Cairo edition. It reads, say, who is the Lord of the 7 heavens and the Lord of the throne? So are both of these right? When he didn't add 7, was he right?
Can you look at can you go down to the citation, please?
It's right here.
No, like I want to see the verse. Like what chapter, what verse? 2386.
2386. He's going to go to the Uthmanic standard version to make his decision. Bro, are both of these right? One of them doesn't have 7, one of them does. A later scribe had to come in and change it for the person because the person didn't see that it needed to have the word 7. They left it there. There was no need to correct it. They put it without 7. A later scribe comes and adds 7.
Okay, I'll just answer this question. I'll say I don't know. I don't know, like I don't know what like manuscript this is. I don't know, like I don't. It's the one I just pulled up. It says 7. قل من رب السماوات السبع. 7 is there 7.
So
I don't know if the other one. Hold on, let me just say this. I don't know if قل من رب السماوات ورب العرش, like without 7. I don't know if that's a different قراءة for this.
Brother, you can't get 7 without writing 7. There's no way you're gonna read. Look, there's no way you're gonna read. Who is the Lord of the heavens and the Lord of the great throne? You're not going to get 7 without 7. So did he make a mistake? Did the scribe make a mistake by not adding 7? Or are they both correct?
I don't know if they're both correct. That's the thing. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. Now let me ask you a question.
Be dishonest, dude. It literally says he corrected it. It literally said the scribe corrected it, bro.
Okay, but that implies that the previous one was a mistake. I don't know if this is truly a mistake or if it's a different qira'ah, because I told you the qira'ahs are not mistakes.
It's in the text.
The Quran was not preserved in the text. It was preserved through oral recitation. I just told you.
Do you understand? Hey, life. Are you talking about a different manuscript, or are you talking about something that was added into the same manuscript?
Hold on. Right here.
So it's in the same
question that will refute it.
Hold on, Kasai.
Let me ask you a question that will refute it.
Hold on, bro.
Yeah.
You're scared of my question? Damn, I haven't asked a single question. You're that scared?
Kasai, with as dishonest you are, I need you to be quiet right now when I just ask Life something. Please be quiet.
Ask.
Everything that I show you is happening on the same manuscript. Everything I'll show today is going to be on the same manuscript. They are corrections that people are erasing or squeezing in to the text to read the way that they need it to read.
So you see how it's not a different qira'ah? It's the same manuscript that's being erased or added to. You understand?
Okay, now let me ask you a question. It's on the same topic.
Wait, do you understand that though?
I understand. Now let me ask you the question.
Because I don't want you to zoom past this.
It's not past. I'm not zooming past. We'll come back.
So it's not a different qira'ah, right?
We'll come back to this after my question. It's on the same topic. I promise. Let me ask my question.
Take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself.
Man, everything is okay. I don't know. Could
yes, no. I didn't say that. Okay, no. Yes.
What the heck? These guys got to uphold a lie so much where the simplest thing, they can't even say a scribe made a mistake writing the Quran, but he can say that the scribes or the Quran wasn't physically preserved properly.
And it wasn't meant to be physically preserved.
But they didn't make mistakes when they wrote it down.
Yeah. The Quran is not physically preserved. So with his position, he should be okay with saying, yeah, physically scribes made mistakes. Yeah, physically scribes made additions. He should be okay with that, right? Because he said it wasn't physically preserved, nor was it intended to be physically preserved. He should be okay with that. But he can't even admit when the text has additions and subtractions, a scribal error or correction. He can't admit it. Take care of
And
yourself,
this
man.
manuscript that I showed, guys, another scribe had to come right over it and insert it into what the other scribe wrote. If another scribe is coming in doing that, he's correcting him. They both are not right. One of them feels like something is missing or something doesn't need to be there. The dishonesty goes too far when you're dealing with their Quran. This perfect preservation claim is such a lie. This is what they got to do.
So not only, ladies and gentlemen, are you seeing that it's within their own texts, within their own hadith, their history, that talks about the corruption of the Quran, it not being preserved, but you also have manuscript evidence of scribal errors and scribal corrections and additions and erasures, all of that. Hadith history and manuscripts. It's tough. This whole Islam is Quran is preserved. This whole arc cooked. It's done. Shout out Giant GOC, because we can, and then we can go into the Qira'at, the different recitations of the Quran, and show you the differences in wording, words missing, rulings changed in the Qira'at that they say, oh yeah, Muhammad said it all. Okay, all right. He said Allah was surprised and Muhammad was surprised. Nice. All right.
Crazy, man.